In a moment, Loretta Lynn and Sissy Spacek take us beyond the film version of Loretta's life.
Women like you, they're a dime a dozen. You can buy them anywhere. For you to get to him, I have to move over, and I'm gonna stand right here. It'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man.
We're going all out. We're offering cash rebates on all new Mercury cars. $500 on Grand Marquis and Colony Park Wagon. $500 on Cougar XR7 with Luxury Group. $400 on Monarch and other Marquis models. $200 on Capri and Zephyr. Rebates on all Mercuries. Direct from Lincoln Mercury Division for a limited time only. And it's all on top of your dealer's already great prices. The all-out, all Mercury cash rebates.
Presenting one of America's most common mistakes about dog food.
The Gaines burgers cost more than the canned dog food.
Well, look, one box of 12 Gaines burgers dog food is equal in nutrition to 6 cans of the leading national brands. Now compare Gaines burgers to the cost of those 6 cans.
Wow, that's something. Since the Gaines burgers is less expensive than 6 cans of dog food and equal in nutrition, I would be foolish not to try the Gaines burgers. Well, I'm not going to make that same mistake again.
Gaines burgers, the canned dog food without the can.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the president of the Beverly Hills Residents Association. I'll kill you! The Hollywood Knights are the subject of a recent movie that is glorifying their disgusting, disgraceful behavior. Look at the horrible things those sex-starved maniacs did to Beverly Hills on Halloween night.
Support the Hollywood Knights, an oppressed minority. Come see the movie.
Hollywood Nights, rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
We asked men to compare the 19 3/4 cent Bic to the expensive Track 2.
No difference.
No difference. No difference. No difference. There's no difference.
The results of the Bic barber test surprised a lot of people. 58% found Bic shave equal to or better than Track 2's. Why pay more? Most men we tested felt
No difference.
And the price?
Big difference.
The incredible 19 3/4 cent Bic.
It'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man.
One man is the center of her life, in real life and in the movie. The coal miner's daughter, Loretta Lynn, when 2020 continues.
Right here. It'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man.
Friday, the hustler of Muscle Beach can con his way to money, but not to love.
This is an Eyewitness News Brief.
Hello, I'm Jerry Turner, Eyewitness News. The Reverend Jesse Jackson is back in town. Erin Moriarty will tell you why. A Calvert County explosion reduces this St. Leonard's home to rubble. Democratic challenger Edward Kennedy makes Carter an offer he might not be able to refuse. Klaus Wagner has all the latest Preakness preps, and Bob Turk tells us that the skies will smile on the big race. All this and more coming up on Channel 13's Eyewitness News tonight at 11 o'clock.
Underinflated tires create friction and waste gas. Amoco suggests you keep your tires properly inflated and save gas.
Save a gallon of gas a week.
Before the station wagon became a station wagon, it had to be something a lot more. It had to be a Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz didn't invent the station wagon. They just raised it up to Mercedes-Benz standards. Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
Relieving stress tomorrow morning at 10.
How many entertainers can you think of who've had movies made about their lives while they were still at the peak of their careers? I can only think of one. The queen of country music, Loretta Lynn. Coal miner's daughter, the movie story of her life, is the year's top moneymaker. Sylvia Chase has done a profile of Loretta Lynn about the real woman behind this modern legend. Sylvia?
The more you know this woman, the better you understand why people find her stories so compelling. Loretta Lynn first told that story in a song 10 years ago, Coal Miner's Daughter, and the record is still selling. Then she wrote a book, and that sold 2 million copies. And now the movie, Coal Miner's Daughter, and as you said, Hugh, it's a hit. The movie version of Loretta Lynn's life opened not in Hollywood, but one night this spring in Nashville, Tennessee, and the next night up in Louisville, Kentucky. There were limousines and red carpets, but mostly there were friends and neighbors, and Sissy Spacek, who portrays Loretta in the movie. It's the true story of a couple and a career and the crises of a rags-to-riches life.
On the coal miner's daughter, in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love.
When I'm watching the movie, I'm kind of like a nun. My mind starts going back to where I come from, you know. I used to sit in the old outdoor toilet and look at the Scissors and Roebuck catalog. I never dreamed I'd ever sing. That dream was too big to ever dream.
Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter, in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He showed.
Loretta wrote this hit about her childhood in Butcher Hollow, Kentucky. She was a daughter of the Depression, heir to the coal workers' poverty. Her father brought home about $3 a day and raised 8 children on it. It wasn't called black lung back then, but if a man got sick, he lost his job, no pension. Loretta keeps the memory of these times, writing and singing songs directly out of her life.
Daddy, he had black lung. They wouldn't let him work in the mines because he was real sick. And he had all these little kids. And when Daddy died, he had a stroke. His blood was so high. Mommy was always the one that was creative. Mommy always says that when I was a little girl, that she knew there was something different about me. She said, I could spank you and you would laugh and cry at the same time. No one will ever know when I'm sad and when I'm not. The last house in the holler was where I was born. Mommy and Daddy built the little cabin. I loved to go to school. I usually crawl in the window and write on the blackboard, Loretta's been here. One time, I crawled in the window and wrote, Loretta's been here and gone.
In this scene from Coal Miner's Daughter, Loretta is a child who might have dreamed a lifetime away in the Kentucky hills, except that Doolittle Lynn, a neighbor, has come back from the Second World War and fallen in love with her. They would be married within a month. Loretta was only 13.
I knew I was in love with him when I felt that I really wanted him around all the time, even though we didn't go together but 1 month. Within a week after I had been seeing him, I wanted him with me all the time.
And that was how you really grew up in a way. Now, some
Sure,
people...
I grew up after I got married, really. And when I had my first baby, my second baby, I played with them like they were dolls. I would dress them 4 or 5 times a day, you know, and just played with them. Then I began realizing I wasn't playing house. It was the real thing.
The car payment's late and the mortgage is due, and 3 of the children are down with the flu.
Her marriage and family trials are dominant themes in the music she chooses. Songs about paying the bills, fighting and drinking, heartbreak, babies.
Baby, and I'm pregnant again. What will we do? Pregnant again. It just can't be true. The doctor just smiled.
She had 4 children by the time she was 18. Her husband worked 2 jobs and she hired out as a housekeeper to make ends meet. Then Doolittle bought her a guitar and said he'd manage her singing career. She was young and very scared. Now she says she'd never have made it without Doolittle pushing her out on stage.
He come in one day and he said, there's girls singing out there on the radio that can't sing as good as you and making money. I'm going to make some money, he said. And that's what we did, is made some money.
I've always been real proud of Loretta, you know, and everything. And what most people don't know, you know, that all of this, I have, helped her to get where she is. And so, in my mind, I feel anything happened to her it's happening to me.
Doolittle scraped up some money, and they cut one record, Honky Tonk Girl. Then he dragged Loretta through every country station on the road from Seattle to Nashville.
Hey, I'm sorry, folks. No visitors allowed in the studio.
Hi, Bobby. My name's Loretta Lynn, and I sent you a picture and my newest record on the Zero label.
Hey, look, no kidding. You can't be in here while I'm doing the show, okay?
Loretta one day burst in on Hugh Cherry, then a DJ in Long Beach, California.
And I got the idea.
I got it, and I played it.
Well, the record was playing. I said, where are you going? And she said, Mooney, my husband is downstairs in the car, and I got my kids down there, and we're on our way to Nashville. I said, what are you going to do in Nashville? She said, I'm going to get on the Opry. And I said, Loretta, it takes a long time to get on the Opry. You have to pay your dues.
And I said, I don't have that much time. I'm going back to get on the Grand Ole Opry. And he said he was shocked when the next thing he heard, he seen the record in the charts, and the next thing he heard, Loretta Lynn from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'd made the Grand Ole Opry.
Miss Loretta Lynn!
Before Loretta even arrived in Nashville, her first record, Honky Tonk Girl, was number 10. She's been welcome at the Grand Ole Opry ever since. She records albums at the rate of 3 a year, paving the way for Tammy Wynette and Dolly Parton. She was the first woman to make it as a solo country act, and the first woman named Country Music Entertainer of the Year. Her name appears on the sidewalk in Hollywood and is written on the side of a tank. With endorsements and commercials, her income is estimated at about $1 million a year.
Crisco makes my chicken taste like Sunday afternoon.
Television show hosts welcome her honest common sense. She's the kind of person presidents like to be seen with, but inside the pretty lady, there still lives a country girl. Du says you're still shy, that you still get nervous.
I am very bashful. Yet today, I will not get out in front of people that much. When I hit the stage, I know it's a different person. I know they expect this, although I'm very self-conscious. I'm wondering if my slips are hanging. I'm wondering if what my hair looks like all the time. You don't ever completely get over it. I never have.
She was censored by radio stations and lionized by feminists when she wrote The Pill, a musical salute to birth control. A mother of 6, she stated had she known of the pill sooner, she'd have been popping them like candy.
Mini skirts, hot pants, and a few little fancy frills. Yeah, making up for all those years since I've got the pill. Oh, but Daddy, don't you worry now, 'cause Mama's got the pill.
Husbands of successful women have to make a life for themselves. Doolittle Lynn retired as his wife's manager after they bought a 3,500-acre ranch. A career as a farmer agreed with Du, but he was less comfortable as a house husband.
It was a hard adjustment for me to make, staying home and taking care of the kids and stuff, and having people come up and say, hey, Mr. Loretta Lynn, and, well, if I ain't get Loretta's autograph, I'll take yours, And I was real happy when I actually seen the movie when it finally came out, that they didn't Hollywood it up. They told it pretty well straight down the road. There's some things in there that I'm not too proud of, but it happened, If it's true, tell it.
Taken off.
Woman, if you want to keep that arm, you better get it off my husband.
Who you telling what?
I don't know who you are, but I know what you are. Come on, Du, if you can walk, they're going to leave us.
Well, let me tell you something. If you was keeping your man satisfied, he wouldn't have to go nowhere else.
Du, come on, they're going to leave without us.
Loretta, let's go! Let me get my parents, baby.
I get mad when I watch that.
Do you?
Mommy says that's her favorite part of the movie.
Why does it make you mad?
Oh, I think it just makes me mad.
It made you mad at the time.
Sure it did.
Do you ever cheat?
No. I've always felt Sure, I could go do the same thing. Anybody can cheat. Not everybody can't, you know.
It'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. A woman like you, that dime a dozen, you can find anywhere. For you to get to him, I'd have to move over and I'm gonna stand right here. It'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man.
Sissy, were you intimidated by doing Someone Still Living?
I was more frightened by it after I got to know Loretta, because I grew to love her so much that I didn't want to do anything that she might not like.
She wanted me to be pleased with everything, but I knew Sissy had me covered. We really got real close, and I think we've known each other forever.
In this scene, Sissy captured Loretta's real-life breakdown, the result of life on the road and a once disastrous dependence on Valium.
Things is moving too fast in my life. Always have. I mean, one day I was just a little girl, and the next day I was married, and the next day I was having babies, and
That time was one of the saddest, I guess, parts that I've ever went through in my life, because Loretta was on the bus, and she walked off the bus, went on the stage, and got up there
next day I was out here singing
and
for y'all.
started talking to the people. She couldn't sing. She couldn't remember nothing. And I tell you, I stood back there and bawled like a baby. You know, I just couldn't. It was it was tough, real tough.
I really didn't care if I died or not, because I felt that everything that I had already slipped away from me. The plan, when he started wanting me to sing, was to be in the business a couple, 3 years, make all the money we needed, he says, and then I would be home with the kids from there. It seemed the more I did make and the more I was trying to make, the more we got in debt. And pretty soon here the kids is growing up, my first 4. Then I get pregnant with the kids, with the twins, about 2 years after I went to Nashville. There was no way I could slow down.
Loretta's favorite dates are in places like Reno, where she's off the bus with the band and settled for a few days. It amounts to more money for less work. All the more possible now because of the movie and last month's award as Country Entertainer of the Decade. More time for 6 children and 7 grandchildren and the man she married 25 years ago.
We've come a long way, baby.
I think my husband realized when he seen the movie with myself that there was so much that we missed out on. We wondered where all this time went to. The future is that me and my husband spend more time together now. I hope to do some of the things I've missed out on, like taking care of my flowers and my garden.
I should note that Loretta told me she was going to slow down the last time I did a story about her, and that was 6 years ago. But she's still going strong. She spent this afternoon on her bus going from her ranch to Houston, where she's singing tonight. Tomorrow night, Dallas. And so it goes. More mountains to climb.
Thank you, Sylvia. We'll be right back.
Do you know me? I ran for Vice President of the United States in '64, so I shouldn't have trouble charging a meal, should I? Well, I do. That's why I carry an American Express card. I use it in stores, restaurants, airlines, and hotels all over the world. In Tokyo, Paris, and in upstate New York. Why, with this, they treat me as though I'd won.
To apply for a card, call 800-528-8000.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Here they come, Elmer. The best-selling diesels in America. 21 different models of the 1980 Oldsmobile diesel V8s. When you see the kind of mileage Olds diesels offer, from Cutlass to 98 Regency, you can see why they won't be stopping for fuel very often.
Come have one built
sinuses feel like a mattress, overstuffed.
So what do you take, Mr. Grayson?
Sometimes aspirin, sometimes capsule.
Would you believe Dristan relieves as many sinus cold miseries as aspirin and time capsules put together?
What's with the big box?
I'll show you. Aspirin relieves some symptoms, capsules some, but Dristan relieves them all.
It does say so on the box. I guess it's true.
Dristan tablets give more complete sinus cold relief. Read the box in your store.
And try the Dristan.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places. Good luck.
Holiday Inn makes me feel like a winner. That's why my team chooses Holiday Inn. No surprises. Beds always comfortable, always. Big rooms. And there's a Holiday Inn hotel near just about everywhere we play. Well, let's go call them like we see them.
You have to see them to call them. Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
Sunday, a special 2-hour look into the mysterious world of the deep. A girl who hand feeds man-eating sharks. Scientists who risk their lives to study the great white, and more in Mysteries of the Sea. Then a dedicated teacher by day, but by night looking for love in all the wrong places.
Just feeling really good.
Diane Keaton in one of the most important films of the decade, Looking for Mr. Goodbar. Parental discretion advised.
Sunday on ABC.
On April 17th, we presented a report by Geraldo Rivera, Injustice for All, on corruption in Akron, Ohio. Here is Geraldo with a follow-up.
The man at the center of this bizarre story of political and personal corruption is Judge James Barbuto. Until his recent indictment, Barbuto was the flamboyant, unconventional boss of the courtroom in Akron, Ohio. He was the single most powerful man in the community. The Sheriff's Department began an investigation of his personal and professional conduct. The judge had enough political muscle to have that investigation quashed. As we reported last month, it was only when 2 courageous Akron police detectives began a second, separate investigation that the judge's allegedly corrupt world began to crumble.
And to faithfully
A special prosecutor, independent of the Summit County judicial system, was sworn in. And on April 2nd, the judge was indicted for attempted rape, assault with intent to commit rape, intimidation, 11 counts of bribery and of sexual bribery, gross sexual imposition, complicity to obstruct justice, complicity to intimidate, soliciting prostitution, and keeping a place for prostitution.
I am innocent of any wrongdoing. Period.
Since our first 2020 report, the judge's legal problems have increased. He's been indicted on 6 additional charges by the same grand jury that last month accused him of performing judicial duties in exchange for sexual favors. The new charges against the judge include 2 counts of theft in office, 2 counts of receiving stolen property, and 2 counts of dereliction of duty. In accordance with Ohio law, Judge Barbuto has stepped down from office. His trial is scheduled to begin on the 9th of June.
Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
Better not. Don't get tough. William Bobby Brooks, the man the judge allegedly used to intimidate the witnesses against him, is scheduled to go on trial the 27th of May. Brooks stands accused of carrying concealed weapons, intimidating witnesses, and for obstructing justice.
I don't know. I don't understand. This floors me.
As predicted, the sheriff of Summit County, Anthony J. Cardarelli, has also been indicted on 4 counts of theft in office, 3 counts of dereliction of duty, and 1 count of obstruction of official business. Cardarelli is currently up for re-election. Under Ohio law, he is not required to step down unless and until he has been convicted. That story in Akron is still developing, and we'll be sure to keep you up to date.
Thank you, Geraldo. On ABC News Nightline tonight, Senator Kennedy explains his promise to quit the presidential race if President Carter debates him and wins the big primary June 3rd. On Nightline tonight, 11:30, 10:30 Central. That's 2020 for tonight. We're in touch, so you be in touch. I'm Hugh Downs. Good night.
Saturday, enjoy a spectacular 2-hour love boat. Then a beautiful reporter goes searching for millions on Fantasy Island. Later tonight, watch ABC News Nightline with Ted Koppel, followed by Charlie's Angels and Beretta on ABC Late Night. This has been the ABC News Magazine 2020.
ABC
ABC's World News Tonight, bringing today's headlines closer to you. Have we stemmed the tide of turbid boat people? Are we headed for a deep recession? And beginning Wednesday, a special assignment. Gasoline this summer. How much for how much? Plus all the news of the day on ABC's World News Tonight.
Jesse Jackson wants you. Erin Moriarty tells us how you can help